Well, the stock of AU Small Finance Bank is in focus. The stock is down nearly around 12% from 27th of August, and it is down close to around 16 to 17% from the recent highs. In fact, the stock has come under pressure on account of the resignation of Mr. Alok Gupta, who is the Chief Risk Officer, as well as Sumit Dhir, who is the Head of Internal Audit. And ET Now spoke to Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, who is the CEO and MD of the bank, and speaking exclusively to ET Now, Mr. Agarwal clarified that it is unfortunate and a coincidence that both these resignations are coming at the same time, and both these resignations should be viewed as an HR issue and not a governance issue. Mr. Agarwal clarified that other than both these resignations, there are no other resignations at the top senior level, be it at the risk function, audit function, or even the control function, and there is good amount of stability across the key critical teams at the senior level. Mr. Agarwal also clarified that there is resignation from both Sumit and Alok on account of change in personal circumstances, primarily on account of the COVID second wave. Both the risk as well as the audit function are critical functions, and they are based out of Jaipur, since the head office of AU Small Finance Bank itself is Jaipur, and the work does demand that being a critical function, a lot of the work is done at Jaipur. Although the management had offered remote working to both Alok as well as to Sumit, both the individuals have stated that it probably may make it less. They may probably not be contributing that effectively if they are working remotely, as both these functions are critical functions. While the board has approved the appointment of Deepak Jain as the Chief Risk Officer in place of Alok Gupta for a period of 3 years, management is still working out and still trying out possibilities to retain and work on the middle path with Mr. Sumit Dhir. In fact, management also clarified that they are not seeing too much of an attrition at the senior level. The attrition, yes, is there at the junior level and at low vintage verticals, since they are seeing a lot of poaching being done by NBFCs as well as fintechs. He also stated that it is in line with the bank's strategy to offer career progression as well as growth opportunities, and hence there are frequent changes in the role of top management team. For instance, Mr. Mayank Markandi, who is the exiting Chief Risk Officer, or rather who was a previous Chief Risk Officer with the bank, wanted to move on to a business role rather than a risk role, and now Mayank heads the credit card division. Mr. Agarwal also clarified that they have good amount of robust systems and processes in place, and the bank has been there, or rather AU Financiers has been there in business since the last 26 years, of which 22 years was as an NBFC, and the last few years have been as a bank, and the bank has been audited by the Reserve Bank of India for 3 years, and there have been no material observations being done from the regulator. In fact, Mr. Agarwal also clarified that yes, the bank has been growing their book fairly well. There was some pain on account of the COVID second wave, but that has been well provided for. They have been able to grow their deposit franchisee strongly. They're building a fairly strong franchisee, and recently they also launched digital bank. They believe that the next 10 years for India is going to be very different from the last 10 years, and the management is confident of building a strong franchisee and perform very well over the next 10 years.